We are recording.
Are we?
Yes. So anytime you want to start.
Haha.
We can start. Haha. Bringing the phone to the classroom, aren't we?
No. Okay. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
We have a sofito too, so we're very ready. Okay.
Nice. Very first day of work in a while.
It does feel like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see how this goes.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm the Fine,
And I'm the water. And you're listening to A Cup of Tea.
a podcast about exploring life through each other's eyes.
While sharing a cup of coffee with you.
Oh, wow. Look at us. I totally thought we were going to mess that up.
I know, we do that.
I almost feel like when we do it right, it's wrong.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know what I mean?
And you know, the thing is, this morning I was editing the episode that came out this week,
Mm-hmm.
and I was listening to the very first part because we messed it up. Well, I messed it up. But then in my mind, I kept like, hi, like, instead of thinking welcome to Ear Biscuits or whatever, I was like, no, I mean, that's what I mean. Instead of saying like a cup of tea, my mind went like, welcome to Ear Biscuits, a podcast about what do they say? No, welcome to the
long friends. Long something.
Yeah. Like I'm in my mind, I went all the way, the whole intro, and then I thought of the daily one because that one I also learned, and I used to mock it with Anna, my cousin, and it was like, "This is the daily." No, from the New York Times. This is the daily. So then, yeah, I was laughing when I was going over our intro for the editing, which is always funny.
So, as you mentioned, we are drinking coffee today. Chocolate milk for adults, as you call it.
Yes. You are the one that nicknamed
Yeah,
that,
I did.
actually.
I did. That is very true.
Yeah.
Because it's a mocha thing.
It is.
Because you always get that.
Yeah, I do. Really good.
I am a little
benchmark.
scared. I am a little scared for how hyper this is going to make me.
That's fine because we need to work through a lot of recording today.
Yes, because you are back.
Yeah.
So how is Mexico?
Very hot.
That's what I hear.
It is. Like, and I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago that I saw something that said that temperature is going to be hovering between 35 and 45 degrees.
In Querétaro?
No, and I don't know exactly which places they meant because they.
I mean, that sounds like Sinaloa hot.
I know. I mean, I thought of Tabasco, but yeah,
sure.
Because this thing said, yeah, Mexico City is going to be like 35 degrees or something, and it was like, that's a lot for Mexico City.
Yeah, wow,
a lot.
Scary.
And Querétaro is like 30, 35 on some really hot days. And it's been raining, but like 2 seconds of rain and then it stops.
I miss the pouring down rains of Querétaro. Because even though this is supposedly Vancouver, like, not really.
It's
I feel like they lied to me.
Vancouver,
yeah.
if you ask me.
I miss a good storm, like a good pour down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like flooding on the
almost. But you're not getting that either?
No. It was, I mean, from what I remember of the basically 1 month of being there.
It's supposedly 2 weeks, people.
No, it was never going to be 2 weeks.
3?
It was 3, yeah.
All right, fine.
Fine. So a couple of days it rained like maybe for an hour. But never like pouring rain. It was always.
That's sad.
The funny thing that I noticed, not for the first time, but that I like started paying more attention to was that here, because as we said, it drizzles more. The raindrops are very small. They're like tiny raindrops. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there, it's like a massive. They're almost like emptying a bucket on you.
What
kind of raindrop? Yeah.
That's so
huge.
Funny. Wow, I never thought of that.
Which I don't know why that is, but that's what I noticed. Yeah, it's very hot. But then it was nice. I mean, there's also a shit ton of traffic. So, well, specifically in Querétaro because they're building the Cinco de Febrero
Some new highway thing.
Yeah, like one of the main streets is being totally renewed. I recorded some stuff that I sent you to show you because it looks so weird. It used to be covered in like overpasses. It was like an overpass and then another one and then another one.
That. So that's gone?
That's gone. Now there's a tunnel.
And I like that, like the little like mountain thingies.
Yeah,
that was a lot of
it was
fun.
cute.
Every time I had to go like to your side of town, I like that.
And that's kind of how I measured how long I had to go home. Like it was like, okay, first one. All right, the second one. All right, the third one. Okay, this is the last one.
That's cute. See, and now
no. There's a tunnel when you need to exit to go like to my house. Then the rest of it right now is just one way lanes on each side. And they're supposedly going to do this thing where there's going to be an overpass at every major intersection instead of there being lights everywhere. I don't know how that's going to look, but apparently it's going to be a lot better. But between that and the fact that I don't really know the statistics on this, but there's so many people moving into the city now.
Oh yeah. I keep hearing that.
Between the traffic of people that already live there and the new people coming in, it's just like it takes 1 hour to get anywhere in the car, not public transport. And I don't even want to know.
I feel like I'm so not used to that. I feel like every time I went anywhere, it was like
15 minutes.
Yeah, like 20.
Yeah.
You know, like to me, that was like either going to your place or going to Pablo's. It was just like, or down, like anything.
Yeah, everything was 20 minutes away. Yeah, exactly.
And that was very nice.
There was this one day that I spent with my aunt where we were driving around. We went to, like, from, let's say, the south, which is kind of where, like, the east more of the city where we live.
Oh, wait. Remember that I don't have that, like, drone city view thingy? So I've never known what's where.
Okay.
So, like, because right now I find it very amazing to me that I know the map of Vancouver.
That's cute.
You know, like I understand North Van and West Van and Vancouver and then Richmond and Burnaby and Coquitlam, like, and I love that. But I don't have that for Querétaro.
Okay.
So, like, paint me a map.
Okay, so if Juriquilla and Jurica are in the north of the city.
Sure.
You used to live, like, in the east.
I used to live in the
like
east.
Southeast corner, kind of.
Okay.
Because then there's
that's El Marqués.
Like yeah.
Sure.
I mean, El Marqués is like east, and then you live like a bit down from that, so it's like south.
Okay.
Southeast. And then Centro Sur, which is like in the name.
Centro Sur.
It's like south-ish, but it's like south-southeast, kind of.
Still on the east side.
Yeah.
Wow, this is so much fun. Oh my God.
And then I live on the west. To that. If you think of like Cinco de Febrero, which is the avenue that's being built, kind of like in the center, which it isn't exactly, but like that one goes.
Where is Bernardo Quintana in all of this?
So like this is Cinco de Febrero, which Cinco de Febrero kind of does this. So it's like north to southeast. And then Bernardo Quintana does like a loop here.
Because Bernardo Quintana goes from my house to
where? Like to Juriquilla, to Jurica.
Right, okay.
Kind of.
So Jurica is like over. Jurica and Juriquilla is the north.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so much fun.
And then if you go south and then west, it's my house. So that whole thing, that thing that we're drawing here, like in
is downtown like in the center?
Yeah, it is in the center.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, it used to be way more center, but now it's more like on the south because the north has grown so much.
Right.
But yeah.
Aww. That's so cute. I want a map of Querétaro and a map of Vancouver.
Yeah.
Cute. Go on.
So that like north southwest thing that I was just like kind of drawing took 40 minutes each way, and it was insane because it's the same thing, like 20 minutes, and this is when there was no traffic. This was like 11 or 12 in the morning. Yeah, that's the thing.
Why did it take you so long?
because they're freaking building everything. And you cannot drive through 5 de Febrero. You have to go through the other one, Bernardo Quintana. So you can't just go straight. You need to go around it and then loop back and go this way. Which is fucking horrible. So I did not miss that.
I see.
Actually, my grandma, like my nonna, was, what do you miss about here? And what do you miss about Vancouver? I was like, okay, I miss the weather of Vancouver, and I miss the, I said something else. I guess maybe it was the traffic thing, like the no traffic thing. Yeah, that was probably my answer. I don't remember exactly, but yeah. So it was nice. I got to see, I feel like, a lot more people than last time I went.
Really? I feel like you didn't see anyone.
Really?
But maybe I just didn't notice. Like, I know you saw Jenny and stuff.
Yeah.
And your cousin, I think you saw your cousin. And like I guess the politics boys.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I just didn't notice. But I don't feel
The thing
like
is, I feel like there was a difference in the people I saw. Because there was sort of this group of friends that would always get together.
Like our group of friends?
Yeah, our group of friends. And I didn't see any of them. So that's, I think, why you feel like I didn't see anybody. But I tried. And I just didn't work out. And then I did see many of my other friends. We recorded some pocket episodes, which is why I saw a lot more people. And so it was all around very social, very cute. Also, kind of, I mean, coming in, apart from recording pockets and knowing that I had to work on stuff and all of that, I didn't really have much of a plan for stuff to do. So yeah, I didn't have that many plans apart from knowing that we had to record pockets and maybe acot and just keep editing like we normally do. So it was very like open to things to do. And I feel like I did do a bunch of things, but very low key, like nothing huge, like not a big trip or anything, but like tiny things that were really fun. And I went to Tequis again with my dad and my grandma, which was actually really cute because we went like chachareando. So we're like kind of like shopping for sort of touristy stuff. And in the market, and it was really cute. I actually bought this bookend thing.
Oh yeah.
That was and I have to show you this because it made me so sad. So okay, again, this is the second time this happens. I don't know not this year, because the last time was during Christmas in December last year. But my bag did not arrive with me to the airport
again.
And turns out, again, I opened it and I got a TSA note thingy saying that they checked my baggage for security purposes or whatever. Because, and I think my theory is that they saw the rocks and they thought maybe there were drugs inside. Because I think they tried to like chip away at one of them and they cut one of the like the corners. And I saw that and I told my dad, like, look, I'm pretty sure it didn't look like this when I got it. And so he was like, well, maybe you can put some like glue on it and polish it so that it looks nice again. So I'm gonna try to fix it.
At least they didn't like take them from you. I guess.
I know, I guess, because they do seem like maybe they're like 5 kilograms of crystal meth or something. I don't know. Because they're very heavy. They were like 10 pounds or something. When I bought them, I was like, I am insane.
Hello.
I am like certifiably insane if I'm going to travel with this. But it turned out, you know, that suitcase wasn't even that heavy. So I was like, I'm good. Yeah. So we did that, and then we went to eat to like a bunch of places, and I kept thinking of Apurv, or Pablo's friend, who's now our friend, I guess, too.
Yeah.
Because when I was saying goodbye to him last time, when we were outside Blarney Stone, he said, "Eat everything." And I was like, "Sure, I'll do it. I'll do it for you." So that was really cute, and I went to like nice restaurants. I celebrated my birthday there, which was really cute too. So it was overall very nice, very chill.
Mm-hmm.
It actually felt like a vacation of sorts, even though I kept working the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was nice.
Do you have any feelings on, because I kept kind of wondering, and I think I asked you this recently, of like, how did you feel, or how do you feel now that you're out of school when it comes to, because I don't know, I feel like at some point you were kind of anxious or nervous about like either finding a job or stuff like that, and now it's like, well, now you're out of school, and like, of course we're still doing our thing, right? Like, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, did you have any sort of reflection on like going back home as a vacation or as a just visiting, and then I don't know, around the whole sort of this stage of your life, if you will. I don't know.
I guess I know what you mean.
Mm.
And it kind of felt like a vacation, but not entirely, because of that thing that I keep thinking of, not staying in just one place, but not to full on be a digital nomad type of person, but to be able to come and go and work from anywhere almost. And it didn't feel super vacation-y because I feel like every week almost we had to record, which was actually fine. You know, it was nice because then I had a lot of stuff to do during the week. But then it still gave me enough time to hang out with my friends and stuff. And the other thing that I was very anxious about this, about the finding a job thing, and my aunt actually was very very encouraging.
Really? Your aunt that also has a podcast?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because so I was saying, yeah, I don't know if I need to be finding a job or if I need to focus on my own thing, because I do know that I want to focus on my own thing because I rather spend my time on something that works for me than for somebody else. So if right now I'm in a position in which I can choose to put all of my effort into like the Pine and Water Company and everything we're doing here, then I rather do that than apply for a job
and
spend my like
me.
Yeah. So I know there's this thing that I told her. I keep getting like job opening notifications and stuff, like apply for this other thing. And I don't know if I should go into that or if they're just distractions on the path to this other bigger thing. And she was like, no, they're distractions. Keep your attention focused.
Really?
Yeah.
I find that a little refreshing.
I know. And she was very, I mean, I think we've had this conversation before. I don't know if in a cup of tea, but at least you and I have talked about how my family's not touchy-feely. Like, our families are not touchy-feely in general.
Our families are not touchy-feely.
So I think there was a moment even when you said, for example, that you wished your mom was more vocally supportive of what we were doing. And kind of that's the reason why I haven't like shown, I don't know, a cup of tea to my family. One, it's in English and they're going to be like, oh, I don't want to listen to that. And two, because I don't know, I feel weird about it.
Like quick note on that note. Without me saying anything to her,
Yeah.
Now my mom shares our reels on Facebook.
Oh, that's cute.
And I'm like, how? Like, what? Because I didn't have to. I think maybe she noticed, because I did mention something to her one day. I think maybe I told her, this was before we got our letter that we are a company. It was a conversation before that where I think we were just talking about like how she's doing, how I'm doing, whatever. And I was telling her something like, oh, maybe she asked me about my day off or whatever. I'm like, oh, like I'm not working at my 9 to 5, whatever, but I have to like edit and film and shoot and stuff. And we kind of talked a little bit about that, where it's like she kind of questioned me a little bit of like, oh, why don't you do the other job full time instead of earning less money so that you can do this? And I'm like, well, because this is the thing that I want to be doing, and it's more of a marathon thing. It's gonna take a while, blah, blah. And maybe I feel like she kind of understood a little bit, and I feel like after that talk, she started like noticing the things on Facebook, and now she shares them, and it's like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it is cute.
Yeah, and the other day when we got the letter, I called her and I was like, guess who has a company in Canada? And at first she didn't get it. She thought it was the dude or something. And I was like, no, me. And she's like, oh my God. You know, that was cute. So interestingly enough, though, she kind of shares the stuff.
Yeah, nice. Cute. Cute development. So yeah, like on that sort of same
parents, family support
parallel, my aunt shares, I mean, she doesn't share everything, but I know she looks at it. She likes it. She's a cheerleader.
Yay. We need those. And
so it was very cute. That thing of how she's like, no, you can do anything. You're going to do great things. Just like, you're doing amazing. You're going to be great. And it was so nice because at the same time, my mind has been going on this imposter syndrome wheel for ages.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking, but how do I do this? How do I go about this other thing? Like, I don't know how to. I was asking her, like, how do you approach a client? You know, or how do you ask somebody if they want to hire you? And she's like, just go talk to people. But she and she gave me practical advice, which I'm not gonna list down here because it's not a podcast on how to do this or whatever. But yeah, she was very encouraging, very very positive about it. Very like, yes, you can do it. You can do anything you want. And it was very cute because it kind of reminded me of what my mom used to say a little of, you can do whatever you want to do. And my grandpa used to say that too. But in a way that wasn't like, oh, you can dream and you can do, and it's like very far away from you. Like very de dientes para afuera kind of thing, you know? How do you say that? There's a saying that also includes
in English?
In English, yeah. Like, I mean, just saying it without meaning it. We're not saying it without meaning it, but
kind of.
In a very, oh yeah, you can dream. Go, dream, child. It was more of like, no, you can actually do what, because of the stuff that you're doing and the hard work that you're putting into this, if you have a goal, you can for sure accomplish it. You know? And that certainty that she had, I was like, oh man, that is so awesome. That's kind of exactly what I needed to hear.
Wow.
In the moments of discourage.
Yeah.
And discouragement and being like, is this like really, am I, are we? This is happening?
Are we doing it?
Yeah. But no, and I think it was, I don't know if she said it when you were still in the call when we were recording her interview because she's in a pocket.
Yeah.
Or if you had already left and I was just talking to her. But she was like, no, you guys are doing amazing. You're going to be great. And
I was there when she was saying something like that.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, thank you. That is so cute.
So how are you feeling now with the whole like imposter syndrome, and now you're back and your days are yours to plan?
I know, which is kind of wild. And I have to say, I have not fully unpacked. And there's a pile of suitcase stuff in a corner of my room, and it's there. It just exists. Like, I did empty my big suitcase, so now that's in a corner, in another corner. But yeah, there's still a lot of stuff to unpack, but I haven't dedicated the time to doing it. I could have done it on Sunday.
But it's not the packing that you're willingly, like, purposefully not doing because you want to move.
Yeah, no.
This is packing that you actually need to do.
Yes, exactly. I'm like 2 days away from running out of underwear. So I need to unpack.
I see.
And do laundry and like do that kind of thing. But I have been busy doing stuff, because so I came back on Tuesday last week. So I've been here a full week. And I've been working nonstop, actually.
Look at you.
Between doing ACOT and doing politics and doing stuff for my dad, which is something that I also want to work more on.
Really?
Like, I want to do more. I want to be more involved in that. Because
in the family business, you mean?
Yes.
How come?
I know. I mean, just because I'm thinking this is very kind of slightly informed by Succession watching. Because when I was a kid, ages ago. No. There was one day when my dad was like, he asked both me. Yes, exactly. He asked me and my brother to the school, because my dad has a school, a university, will be yours. What do you want to do when you grow up? Do you want to take care of it? And both my brother and I were, nope, we don't. Not thank you. And so my dad for a moment was, well, maybe then I'll sell it. And then whatever, I don't know. But now I'm thinking more, no, you know what? We can make it bigger and make it grow and it can be amazing and whatever. So I'm interested in doing that at some point. Which is why I think I need to be more involved in the thing. And to live off my rent. So I'm thinking of, doing that. So between those like 3 major things plus pockets, I do have like a full schedule. And the thing that my aunt suggested of approaching clients and like meeting people, the things that we've kind of been doing already of going to conventions and what's the name for that? Like, not
panels
meetings, but that kind of thing, like social networking events. And then maybe
we have one this month. Yes. The podcasters thing.
Nice. Like that, So I'm no longer looking to apply to any jobs. I want to.
You feel confident in the putting all your eggs in this basket.
Yeah, it's a little panic-inducing, but yes, we can do it. I trust us. We can do it. We got this.
I appreciate the confidence.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, and the trip ended with my birthday, basically, and that was a very nice thing because my aunt took me on a whole day thing where we went to a spa in the morning, and then we had lunch, which was lovely. I had the best chocolate cake ever.
Really?
It was so good. It was so chocolatey. And then we went to watch The Little Mermaid, which was really cute.
Yes, I really like what they did with Prince Eric. My only complaint, because I really liked it, my only complaint is that they didn't give Ariel her sparkly dress at the end.
I know.
That's the only bad thing I have to say about the movie.
I went to rewatch it with my roommate. I told you on Sunday. And I told her the same thing. I was like, the dress. I just wanted the sparkly dress. Not the wedding dress. Not the other, like, day dress, whatever that she wears. No. Just the sparkly out of the water.
I know.
But no.
Yeah. But I really liked it, you know?
I know. It was really cute. I like the songs. I'm actually, when I was on my way here, I kept like singing Scuttlebutt. Yeah. And the Prince Eric song.
Yeah, I really like the Prince Eric song.
Which my roommate, I have to credit her, Mariana, my roommate is the one that said this to me. She was like, he looks like Troy Bolton in High School Musical too. Which he does.
Maybe.
And then the funniest thing was that later, because we went back to the dorm and hung out for a bit, we were to the Little Mermaid too. She was going down Letterboxd to put her review of the movie, and somebody said the exact same thing about the Troy Bolton moments. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was really funny. So, yeah.
I see.
So, while I was gone,
yeah.
Your mom came.
Yeah, it was really funny because you guys like picked the exact same dates to switch places.
Yeah. Very practical if you think about it.
How?
Because then I'm gone and you can take up all the time that you have with me to be with your mom.
Not all the time because we're still working.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I guess. But yeah, my mom was here and it was an experience. So my mom was here and we knew that she was coming and we were all very excited because like we all just missed her so much because last time she came to see us was like exactly a year ago. It's like around her birthday, Mother's Day kind of thing. She chooses to come around those times. And I don't know, like it was just bittersweet mostly because I was very excited to see her, but then this thing happened where I thought that she was going to divide her time between being at my brother's house and being at my house. And she ended up just staying at my brother's because, and I don't know if that's just something like what happens when, I guess it's some sort of like thing of when kids grow up and they start getting together with their partners and then the partners kind of need to become part of your family and stuff like that. I don't know. Because I feel like with Pablo, there was a lot of me going over to his house and me spending time with his family and his parents and a lot of that.
Yeah.
But there wasn't that much on this side, like for him to be with my family. And then, so I think, I don't know, at some point when my mom was supposed to come over and stay with me, she kind of told me that she didn't want to because she didn't want to impose. And I was like, there's no such thing, mother. You know, because it's like, no, of course, like you come over. You're my mom. You're supposed to come over. And there was also a lot of like, it's weird because I feel like I don't usually get these kinds of feelings of wanting to make my mom proud. So like I wanted her to see where I live and see that it's tidy and nice and like, you know, like, oh, there's a pillow that's really cute. Stuff like that. Yeah. And a sort of recognition of the accomplishments of the harshness of coming and being here.
Yeah.
And I feel like I didn't get that chance. Or I got a very forced chance because, like I said, my mom didn't want to stay here because she felt like she was going to impose and maybe she felt a little uncomfortable like being here and Pablo being here. Like she felt like there was no space for her because now we were a couple living in a tiny apartment. Like, I don't know, weird mom stuff. Which I kind of understand, but I'm also like, no. So at some point there was this day that everyone at my brother's house was like either working or going to school or something, and I had the day, quote unquote, off from my other job. So I just took her and her friend because she came over with a friend. And I took them out, and we went to like English
IKEA?
Bay.
Oh.
And we also went to IKEA. Yes, I really wanted to take her to IKEA, and she really liked it. Of course, she liked IKEA. And for some reason, we had to stop at my apartment because I forgot something.
Mm-hmm.
And they came up for like a second, and like she looked at it, and she was like, "Oh, it's so nice. It's so pretty."
Mm-hmm.
But and then later. So that day, I thought they were gonna stay over, and then they ended up not staying over.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of felt really bad about it. But I also said, well, like, if she's really uncomfortable, like, I don't want her to stay just because of me, if that's going to make her uncomfortable. But I guess I didn't see if she was really... I feel like she didn't really tell me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there was this sort of miscommunication between she doesn't want to impose on us, so then she puts herself aside, and then I really want her to stay with me, but if she's actually uncomfortable, like she's using me as an excuse, and then I'm using her as an excuse. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of.
In theory, okay. So anyway, I wish she just kind of told me, instead of saying like, "Oh, I don't want to impose," like, I don't want to make you uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
If she had told me that she was uncomfortable staying over, and then I would have understood. But when she says, "I don't want to make you uncomfortable," and I say, "You're not making me uncomfortable," or us, if it's about me and Pablo, it's like, "You are welcome. We want you here." And she still says no, then I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So anyway, then I ended up having some other day that we were going to go hiking or whatever. I ended up going to their house, and Devicha, Tavi, my niece, our intern, she was with me, and she kind of noticed that I wasn't kind of very happy. And she like approached me, and she asked me like, "Oh, how you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm actually sad." And then my brother sees this interaction, and he asks me kind of very intrusively, very like, "What's wrong with you? Tell me," kind of very aggressive. And at first, like, I get defensive, like, I don't want to tell him like that. Because, like, compare that to my niece's approach, where it's very like, "Oh, like in secret between us, what's going on?" So I don't tell him, and then he kind of gets upset that I'm not sharing or whatever. And I keep talking to my niece, and then he asks me again, and I kind of take that opportunity to just blurt it out. So I say, "I'm sad because my mom didn't want to stay with me," and my mom was there. And then she's like, "Oh, like, really?" Like, she didn't really think that I would be that sad. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So I tell her, like, "No, like, I was really looking forward to it. And you said that you didn't want to stay with me." So then she apologizes, and then she again says that she just didn't want to make, to impose.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Well, you said that." And then I said that there was no such thing, and you still didn't want to come. So I was like, I'm just going to leave it alone, because then maybe I just don't want her to do it if she doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And then, so anyway, she apologized, and it was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." But I still didn't kind of feel like a real understanding. It was just, I was left with like an apology that just felt, I'm not saying she wasn't sorry that I felt hurt. But I don't know, I feel like it has a lot to do with that touchy-feeliness that our families don't have. Like, I don't feel seen or understood.
Yeah.
It's just like, my mom acknowledged that she kind of did something wrong, if we can say that she did something wrong, and she apologized for it, but I feel like there was no real... do you know what I mean?
I think I do. There's no what's the word? No,
I feel like it's sympathy instead of empathy, if that makes sense.
I guess it does. I hadn't thought about it that way, but it does kind of make sense.
I mean, like, what I mean is sympathy in the way, like, very
Like,
theoretically, very like,
oh, I kind of feel bad for you, but not coming from a place of fully understanding or acknowledging your feeling. It's more of an empty apology without actually taking time to consider what she did, maybe, or why you felt the way you did.
Yeah, the way I explained it, because I was telling Pablo, and the way I told him is like, I had all of this, like a huge amount of feelings, and there was only space for me to like share a tiny bit of those feelings and just say, I felt sad that you didn't want to stay with me because I was really looking forward to it. And I got an apology for that like tiny thing, but I was still left with all of this huge amount of feelings. So all of that felt not addressed. And the apology, even though, like, of course I believe that my mom was sorry, but at the same time, a lot of me actually felt more like, I don't know what to do with this apology. Because like the apology doesn't...
Do you mean that... Okay, so out of that amount of feelings that you shared, is it because you shared this much, then you got this equivalent size apology? And
kind of.
So what would have... I know that because of what we've been saying, that these people seem unapproachable. Or kind of emotionally unavailable sometimes. That's why you stopped yourself from sharing the other chunk of feelings. And so maybe if you had shared that with your mom, no, I'm not saying with the entire family at that moment, which might have been horrible. But I mean, later on, talking to your mom and being like, I mean, I said this much, but in reality, I was also thinking all these other things that I didn't say. Well, then I think maybe that opens it up to having a better conversation with your mom.
Yeah.
Where maybe she doesn't apologize.
Because I don't know that her apology.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. Because I don't think it's about apologizing. I think it's more about for her to see, to understand, to take more into account that she obviously is not seeing this through the same lens as you are, of being here, being so far away from home for such a long time, and missing all the people that you miss that are not here, and not seeing her. I mean, you talk to her often, but you see her once a year. Which maybe for her, like, it's not even on her radar, so she's more concerned. I would understand about her own comfort or discomfort at being here in a place where she doesn't feel like... I mean, I do think maybe she does feel like she's imposing, even though she's not, but it's just the way they think, right?
I understand if she does feel like that, yeah.
But because I guess for them, and I saw that a lot, for example, with my aunt, watching The Little Mermaid, it was a very interesting thing of how she sees it through her mom lens.
Really?
So she was saying to me that at the end of the movie, when King Triton pushes them away with like the wave or whatever, she's like, man, that is so hard to do. Like that moment where you let them go, it's insane. And it's crazy, and how does he do it? Like, and she's
sorry.
What?
I really like watching The Little Mermaid again, like now, like older or whatever, because it also happens in the original one. But it's one of those things, how at some point it was said or whatever that The Lion King was not a children's movie; it was a movie for the parents. I feel like that whole scene where like Ariel has her treasure cave thing and Triton finds it, and he's like, "You will not go to the surface," and he destroys everything. Yeah. I feel like that is such a powerful thing, and I also feel like my mom's generation of parenting and her mom's parenting was very destructive in that kind of way.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I'm at a place in my life where I don't blame my mom for how she behaves or the things that she does. I understand where she comes from and how she was parented and how she tried to do her best. But I also find myself in that kind of thing of I want to break that cycle. Yeah. You know, and I kind of see those posts on Facebook or Instagram or whatever where it's like, oh, be the generation that breaks the cycle. And I, as romanticized as that is, finding myself wanting to actually do it is feeling really hard. Because I feel like that's where I'm at. Not that I'm having kids anytime soon, but even with my own family, with that whole like touchy-feely stuff that they don't have. Yeah. And maybe a little bit of the problem is that I compare it a lot with, for example, my relationship with Pablo, where I feel like that is such a safe space, that is such a loving space, so touchy-feely, and sure, it's cheesy and whatever and stuff. Very. But I'm like, that's the kind of relationships that I want to have. And I sort of feel like my family can't reciprocate. I don't believe, because I haven't experienced, that they can give me that kind of emotional availability. Yeah. So it's a little, I feel in a very like crossroadsy place of wanting something that they are not, but also appreciating them for what they are. But I don't know, like, you know what I mean? And seeing that scene in The Little Mermaid, I wonder if parents now can see that scene and understand that even though they think they're doing the best for their children, they're actually hurting them a lot.
Well, I mean, I guess the thing, and maybe my aunt said something along the lines of this, was that, and I think this is something that she said also in her pocket. Like, as a parent, not that we are parents and we don't have that experience, right? But you try to do your best and you make mistakes. Like, you're going to make mistakes anyway. Yeah. Right? So it's more about, I guess, owning your mistakes. And if you slip up in a big way, we'll try to fix it or make up for it. But at the end of the day, one is, I mean, parents can damage us. That's a thing that I think as millennials we say all the time. But maybe what we don't understand yet, at least the ones of us that don't have kids yet, is that they never intend to do it. And that's the thing that we need to understand. So what I meant, like, to circle it back to what I was saying about your mom, is that what I am imagining is that because of how you've always done the detached thing and the you're so cool and you don't need people, maybe your mom sees you like that, so she kind of that's why she wouldn't want to impose, you know, like maybe to her she doesn't need to hover for that sort of thing, you know. So if she doesn't stay with you,
that sounds very
then she doesn't worry. Like, she doesn't have to be watching you to make sure that you're fine, in the same way that maybe she has to watch over your brother or your niece and nephew. Yeah, you know. So I think that's why I think it merits a larger conversation to talk about the other things that you didn't say, and maybe she can say the other things that she didn't say. And you can come to understand each other a little better.
Yeah. I do find that very revealing because so I will give you a look into my family dynamics if you haven't gotten one yet, where it's so in my family's non-touchy feelingness, yes, as we've said in some episodes,
it has been established.
Yes, that I became very detached and that sort of emotionally independent, and kind of assumed that I had to take care of my own emotional needs, and that made me very separate and distant from my family. And so you saying this kind of makes me go and see not only, like, if I take care of myself and I don't allow other people to take care of me, then other people will assume that I don't need taking care of.
Yeah.
You know, which is a little bit, I feel like, that one very important conversation that you and I had about our friendship, of how I had to work on this thing of I don't share my stuff, but that's not on the other people to be there. How is someone else going to be there for me if I don't let them?
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So I do think that maybe there is something to that you're saying of maybe my mom doesn't, more than maybe my mom, it's like I don't let my mom see how much I need her. Yeah. Told you this was going to be a therapy session looking thing. But yeah, I see a conversation with my mom approaching.
Very well. You can update us on that.
Yeah. Will do.
Yeah. Because and that's kind of actually that's how I closed my trip. There's been this thing that I've been debating
I think I know what you're
gonna say. So my brother is very, again, family dynamic. It's the topic of today.
Apparently so.
In this sort of, again, I guess also detachment that he has, but in a different way, in which he doesn't share much about his life. He doesn't update any of us on what he's doing. Like, if I find out he's going home, I don't know, from other people that are not him. Like, I never hear it from him. Oh, I'm coming home, whenever. And so before he got married, I was talking to my therapist about like this thing about our relationship. And she said, why don't you write him a letter and say all these things that you were thinking about? And did I write the letter? Of course I did not. But then I kept thinking about it, and the thing is that before the wedding, I don't know if it was during the Christmas break or afterwards, like in March when I went there, but I found one of my mom's notebooks where she wrote sort of an apology letter to him after, I'm guessing, scolding him or grounding him or something.
Wow.
And in the letter, she's talking about how she just wants the best for him, and maybe she's too harsh, but she's never trying to hurt him or anything. You know, I guess very much like what I just said. So sort of my takeaway from that was the thing that she kept repeating throughout, of she just wants the best for him and for him to do whatever he wants with his life and to follow his dreams and, you know, all of that. So I thought, oh, that's perfect. Perfect for the wedding. Perfect as like a gift to give. Especially because I don't know if he knows that those journals exist. So I procrastinated the letter. I did not give it to him on his wedding. I didn't even write it. Like,
oh my God.
I had thoughts, but I never put them, like, I had them on my phone, but I never actually wrote them down. And then on the very last 30 minutes before I had to leave for the airport.
Are you serious?
I am serious. I'm the worst. I wrote like, and it's
a
on
draft of a letter is what you wrote.
Exactly. Because it's not even on nice paper. It's on like binder paper from school from ages ago. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to draft it and then I'll copy it into a cute paper and then I'll give it to him. Did I do that?
Nope.
Of course not. I just gave him the fucking binder paper. But I mean...
You didn't give it to him. You just left it there for him to find whenever he goes back home.
Yeah, which actually I might run into him.
Oh, when you go next?
Yeah. So maybe I can intercept the letter before he receives it.
That's funny.
I don't know. But I give him that, and I think, again, I don't know because he doesn't tell me, but I think he's in a path of self-discovery, and he's trying to improve his life and do better stuff for himself. So I gave him a couple of books that my mom read, like The Power of Now and this other...
I like that
one. I don't remember which one it was, but that I think might be good for him to read. Mm-hmm. So it's like a sort of book reading care package. He does not read. I don't know if he's going to actually go through them, but anyway. But it was like a sort of nice exercise on that exact thing of breaking the loop of family... I don't know.
Unavailability.
Yeah. Because at some point he said, and he's gonna be, I don't know, he doesn't watch this, but he doesn't like it when I share stuff that he says. He's kind of funny about that. But he posted this thing on Instagram that read something along the lines of, when people don't know that your affection language is it's like physical touch, like hugging and that kind of thing, rather than saying stuff. Mm-hmm. And I thought, okay, I mean, I don't know what the video means. Like, I don't know what your intention is with posting this as a story, but you obviously are like that. It's like not a huge discovery to me,
that he's physically...
Yeah, like he can give you a very warm, nice hug, but he will never tell you that he loves you.
That's really funny.
But I've been thinking a lot about it, and especially, for example, because, and I told him about this one time we were on the phone, and I said, because when I came here, one time we were on a phone call, and I had been here like 2 days or 1 day, and I was feeling like shit, and I was super sad, and we were on the phone, and he picked up, because I had just been with him in LA and all of that, and so that was very cute, and that actually helped me a lot, and I wrote down a letter, and I told him at that moment when we were on the phone, I said, when you actually picked the phone up, that really helped me because I was really sad in that moment. And if you ever want to call me, you can, like, you just have to do it. Because of that thing. I think it's hard for him and it's hard for me, but it's a good thing that we're trying to be more expressive about it. And maybe it's not the way to go with my grandma or with my dad, because we're not going to change, like, my dad's almost 60. My grandma's 82. Like, they're not going to change at this point in their lives. In the same way that maybe your brother and your mom won't change, but you can change your relationship with your niece and nephew. Yeah. And you can, in your own now side of your own family, you can change stuff with you and Pablo and your future kids. So I think it's the kind of thing where you have to accept the stuff that you have. Yeah. And take it for what it is, and then change whatever you can in the other line. Yeah.
I agree. I feel like it's one of those things where I'm very good at getting the theory of things and understanding all the things. Yeah. But then it's just the actual reality of living it, of experiencing it. And,
Yes. And I guess my rec... I don't know the name in English, but this is not for me. I haven't actually read it. It's a vicarious through me kind of rec, because I think it embodies very well what we've been saying. that Diego, our friend, has been reading the teachings of Don Juan. I don't know what and he was saying something about how the first one is about fear, but then he was struck by the second one of, I don't know what the name of it is in English, but sort of this like virtuousness or enlightenment where, because you feel like you already know, like you have the theory of it, then you have it down. Yeah. And like you're good to go.
If only.
But that's also a trap.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my rec too. Like maybe read the book and don't fall into the
trap.
I already know, so I'm good kind of trap.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. I feel like the more it's funny because in my when I was younger and in my detachment and that separateness and distance from connecting with people, on the one hand gave me something very good, which was connecting with myself. And that made me feel like I was very ahead of the people around me.
Yeah.
Of like my peers when it came to being understanding and emotions and stuff and things. Yeah. And a lot of this kind of existential, philosophical, know yourself kind of stuff. And then lately, I feel very like, it's so odd to me that when I was younger, I felt like, or I thought maybe more than felt, that I had it, like I got it, like it's,
yeah,
like I'm so zen that that I got it,
yeah,
kind of thing. And now I really feel like I don't know squat, and it's really funny.
It made me laugh a lot, actually. That I was reading this book by Eliza Schlesinger on the plane back, and there's a moment where she says, "Yeah, I know. I've been there. I was 20 and I thought I had everything figured out and I was so smart and I knew everything. No, you don't know shit." And she's like, "I'm 38 and I still don't know anything. And I was such a stupid brat when I was 20 because I thought I knew everything and I don't. Nobody does when they're 20. We're all stupid." And then I was like, yes. Yes, we are. But we don't know that we are stupid.
Yeah. My rec is, I think it should be that I've been binge watching Queer Eye. And is it Queer Eye?
Yeah.
Queer Eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point I got confused too. Because I saw something like the Fab Five and Queer Eye and I was like, wait, what? Isn't it the same thing? Well, what's the name? I don't remember. And then they're not 5 anymore. I think they're 4 now or something about that. I don't know. This is something that I read. I don't watch it, so I don't really know.
Well, I've been watching it.
But somebody I read, somewhere I read said that they were 4 instead of 5. That's something.
I mean, all that I've seen, it's all of them, so I don't know. But I really liked it. It's one of those things, okay, when it comes to reality series and stuff, I really appreciate this one because I feel like it actually, more than entertainment, more than, because, so I don't know how much you know about this, but like each one of them kind of takes care of some aspect of something.
Yeah, that's all I know.
Basically. So there's one that sort of takes care of like food and cooking and stuff. And then there's one that takes care of grooming and skincare and hair and stuff. And another one that's more fashion and what to wear. And another one that's more like interior design and remaking your house or whatever space it is. And then there's another one that's very, I mean, his thing supposedly is culture, which I find interesting that that's how they define it. But it's a very sort of therapy, coachy, like how are you feeling right now and how can we feel better kind of thing. And I think that's all. And I feel like out of other series, like this one, like I said, more than the entertainment and like looking at the pretty new design or looking at the clothes or the reasons that you watch that kind of series, I feel like this one actually, because of how nice they are. First, like, they're so nice and they're so loving. All of them.
That's cute.
It is so cute. And I feel like they actually sort of like give you tips and things. And when someone, the person that they're helping, sometimes they can be a little like self-loathing or things like that, or not have confidence. They're very like, we're going to stop that right now and we're going to love ourselves. And it's really cute. So I just think that it's that series, even though it's some of those sort of reality TV or transformation stuff, sometimes I think can be kind of shallow or whatever, which I still watch, especially when it's like interior design stuff. Like, I just live for that. But this one I particularly appreciate because of that lovingness and human connection. And yeah, it's really sweet. That's my right. Queer Eye is lovely.
Cute.
Yeah.
I've never watched it, so maybe I'll give it a try.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Very well.
Very well. So this was our therapy session today.
Yeah.
Hope you can take something from it.
Yes. Talk to your parents. I mean, not kidding. I feel like, I mean, at least, maybe it's just because I was there and being very in touch with adults in my life over the past month. But my aunt said this thing, for example, of how both her and then one of my uncles said the same thing of they never call their children because they don't want to bug them. This is not the first time I've heard this. So they wait for their children to call them. And I feel like we as children forget to talk to our parents sometimes. So, call your parents. Have a nice conversation with them. Because what my uncle said was like, if I call them, I just get a cow conversation. And I was like, a cow conversation? He said, yeah, it's just like,
What? That's really funny.
I know.
Have a good don't have a cow conversation. Talk to them.
Exactly. And we will have a non-cow conversation again and see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for sharing a cup of tea with us.
To watch more episodes of A Cup of Tea, click the link on the right. If you want to watch Pockets in the Universe, go to the playlist on the left.